October 8th, 2023. It is currently 8:09 a.m. We are here at the English Springs Park in Chino Hills. Oh, let me flip the screen so I can see you guys. What is up, guys? It's been a week. I think it's been an actual week. I've been committing to this, and so now here we are. It's a little weird being in a park if you guys are watching the video. But you know what? I think it's just I gotta get comfortable in front of people, you know? But anyways, so let's see what we've been up to. So last week was our opening episode. Hope you guys watched that. But it's gonna be a little different now. So that was kind of like my little intro of who I am, what the show is gonna be about. And now we're gonna start documenting everything that we do. So within the past week, let me see. Podcast update. Perfect. I learned a couple things. I've been really trying to reflect on what is gonna be my path to content creating, what's going to be something that's replicable, something that I can keep doing over and over again. And I have at least started with one simple thing, and it's the time-lapse feature. So may it be on my phone or may it be on another camera. I purchased the G7X Mark III. That's my current time-lapse camera and just camera I take everywhere for photos. Conveniently, I left it in the car, so I can't even show you or do a little time lapse right now. But that's what I've been using for all of my little time lapses to showcase what I'm doing, or just to kind of have me in a little work mindset for a little while. And I've been using that, and it's actually been kind of nice because, for one, it's easy content that I can be doing every single day. As of right now, I'm only leveraging it for stories. But it helps me show up, you know? So if you're trying to figure out what you can do to start off, the easiest thing is just a time lapse. I think Chris has talked about it in his newsletter and on Instagram, but he's right. The time lapse feature kind of separates you away from your phone. In my case, it doesn't, but the main part is that it kind of puts you in a certain amount of time of work. So if I'm making a 20-minute time lapse that's going to be shrunken down in 10 seconds, it kind of forces me to be productive for those 10 minutes, or sorry, for those 20 minutes, because I kind of want the time lapse to look nice, you know? So I have really been utilizing that for just work and for just personal use at home, when I'm cleaning my room, or I'm editing, or just setting things up at the office. It just helps me show up, you know? So that's kind of my first thing that I've really started to utilize, and it's it's nice. It's good to be showing up a little bit more consistent. And what do you think, guys? I brought out the mini podcast setup. This is the original podcast recorder that I used to use when I first started out, not the big Rodecaster I'm using right now because I couldn't figure out how to connect it to my car. But yeah, no, we're not from the trunk today. We are from my chair. But yeah, so that's gonna be the first thing that I started doing. And to be honest, I'm really happy I discovered him on, I think it was either Sunday or Monday. I believe it was Monday. But to be honest, I had a reality check, guys. I just had an awakening of the fact that I need to work harder, but also kind of the payoff of what stuff like this can do for me. And what I mean by that is I recently discovered a creator on Instagram. He's only 20 years old. I believe he lives in New York, or if not, somewhere here in LA. And his name is Logan Robles. I think he goes by the username Lauf or Low, Laugh. Check him out if you haven't already. But his stuff is lifestyle. His stuff is product reviews, and he makes videos for brands. But what's cool about him is for one, he's making money off Instagram. He's fully able to just commit to making stuff like this. I believe he even still goes to school. So just kind of set the example for me and for other people that you can do it at school. You can balance school and content creating. But he's 20 years old. I believe he has 148,000 followers at the time of me discovering him. And what was insane was I saw him filming iPhone videos. He was making videos trending to the iPhone 15, which caught my eye and said, you know what, he kind of earns my follow. But after that, he started posting videos about his journey to purchasing a Model X. And I was like, damn, This dude's 20. He has his own apartment. He has a Model 3, fully specced out. And now he's like buying a Model X. So that kind of like woke up my eyes. It didn't kind of make me like jealous or anything, envious if anything that he's able to do this. But it was just kind of like the ability that he's reached through just content creating and through just Instagram. And the more research I did, I found out that he used to be a really big Twitch streamer. I think he still is. And then he like focused on YouTube. And now he's like pivoting both audiences for Instagram. And I like reached out to like one of my good friends, Brandon, who's like more involved and like more in depth into this content creating world. And I reached out to him like asking how much he makes. Like, do you know what an average content creator of this size makes? And he had revealed to me that this dude probably makes around $10,000 a video. $10,000 a video. And I was in disbelief. I was like, that's cap. There's no way that he makes that much money. And I was like, what? Like, I told him, I was like, I wonder if we can like figure out what way that's true. And he told me, he's like, you kind of don't have to. Like, I have friends of this size. In fact, I was hanging out with a friend 2 days ago. That's what he said. And he's like, that's how much he said he makes. He makes around 10 grand for one video. And I was like, wow. Some people who are like 3 years, 2.5 to 3 years younger than me are making like $10,000 a video. So maybe who knows, $20,000, $30,000 a month at that age. So I was like, damn, okay. So that kind of flipped the switch. That kind of made me like start. It made me just like believe, okay, whatever I need to start doing now, I need to like start. Because what this guy has that I don't is not skill. It's not time. It's just the consistency, the commitment to it, the belief in it, the consistency. And I've realized that like I just need to start, figure out what's doable, what can I start with, and go from there. And that's when I kind of like started with the time lapses. Time lapses was like the first thing that I could easily do, and I started it, and now it's worked out so far. And now I am utilizing one more feature, like one more type of content that I'm starting to film. But real quick, I wrote down, I was like looking at like what else I wanted to use was we'll just talk about it for now. And so I realized that like one thing that he has that I don't is a community. You know, he has a huge dedicated following of just people that like love his content, that are just like watching him all the time, and that like follow him around, you know. And that's kind of like the beauty and the power of like Instagram and like YouTube. Like, you can get paid for just having people enjoy your content. So what I started doing was I said, you know what? Screw the cameras. I'm going to start with my phone, and I just start documenting everything. I just started recording everything that I'm doing during the day, try to be very mindful of it. So in fact, like, I should probably record me talking on the podcast. So let me, just record it right now. Started recording everything, being mindful of what it was, so that way I can just use it later for like additional content. And at the end of the week, I figured I can make this series called, what was it? 1 week in the life of a full-time videographer, part-time creator. Because, you know, some creators like my friend Brandon, he started with content creating and then found a way to monetize it and make money from it. Whereas I kind of like did the opposite. I said, let me start a business, let me help other businesses. And then once I've kind of had that growing, I can utilize that money to like fund content creating. And so that's hence like where I was able to achieve, like, earn a full-time job doing videography. So that's kind of like my angle of it. Full-time videographer, part-time creator. Because, you know, I push my stuff second. And so I record everything. And then once I record everything at the end of the week, so Friday nights or Saturday mornings, I will just put everything in a timeline, find a song so like the beat kind of matches. And then once I watch all of it, I will do a little voiceover, but like looking at the camera. So I can like talk to the camera, like, at least have my face in the beginning and the end of it. And I end the video with, and that is just 1 week in the, and then the beginning part starts with the life of a full-time videographer, part-time creator. But if you notice, that's kind of like how I do the loop. So I record all that in one go, but I cut it in half. So like the first half is at the end. So then when you watch the end, it like immediately loops to like the front of it. And that's how I get like, and that's just 1 week in the life of, it goes back to the beginning, a full-time videographer, part-time creator. And then I'll just start off with like, I started off this week by like filming a first podcast episode. I recorded it, edited it. Now I went to I cleaned my room, went to Disneyland, did this, went to see a $4 million home, all that kind of stuff. And then, the full video finishes up. And then now I have like, one, a recap, two, like consistency, but like now I'm like sharing with people what I'm doing during the week. And like as like my work develops and I can show more of like me content creating, I can like show like the balance between like creating for myself as well as creating for like my work. So it's been kind of like the angle that I've been wanting to utilize and start doing, and hopefully it works. So like you guys will see, I believe my first video of like that is gonna drop tomorrow. So Monday mornings I'll like post what I did the previous week, and from there I'll just like try to record a couple things here and there throughout the weeks, but have a couple more ideas I want to share with you. But first, I want to talk about going back to a conversation I had with Chris when I was driving. Him and I were going to a listing that was like 2 hours away, or an hour and a half. So we had like some time to talk. And I know like everyone says this, but like having a conversation with him helped me kind of realize it. But it's not that hard to achieve what like Logan Robles is doing, or Low, that guy is doing, because he's just sharing everything he's doing in his life, slightly different. He has friends that are helping him vlog and everything, and if I'm doing the solo, I just have to figure out my angle. And so technically, like, whichever way you want to watch it, or watch your content, like, it's gonna be unique to somebody, and like it's unique to you. So like you don't have to feel like your life is too boring. Again, like I was like, man, I'm not creating content. I'm not like, I haven't blown up yet. I'm not there yet. I don't have the money that this guy does. But the reason why I started this podcast was like, what I do have under my belt is the ability to like remember to like start documenting all this. So that's kind of like my angle. And I want to start showing what I'm doing to become a full-time content creator. I'm showing like what I'm doing to create the content, have like a work-life balance, or work balance with 2 jobs, and creating, and just using that as my angle. Like I'm a starting creator, like I'm probably more of like a real world example than this guy. So hopefully like that will, show people a little bit more about me, And with that, I like kind of wrote down, let me see, what was my bullet point for this? I had written down, I like talked to Chris about really utilizing I like using that word, utilizing, but I meant to say using. I talked with Chris about really using your life as a unique advantage, pivoting my recaps of being a full-time videographer, part-time creator. So that's kind of like my angle of it. So like I would just say like find your angle of what it is. So for example, if Matt Patullo, you're listening to this, I mean, like, you are a San Francisco agent who loves content. So like if it was me, I would just like record. I mean, look at Brooks. I don't know, yeah, you remember Brooks. Look at Brooks. He's really time-lapsing everything he's doing. He's like being very raw and authentic about it. That's like really cool, but I wish he would kind of show more of like the transactings, like going to where he's going, like filming all of that. But he doesn't. So it's kind of like you only see one side of it, but he is still an agent. He's still transacting in like San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? So like for those that kind of like want a different example, it's kind of like, let's say you're in high school, like high school is a beautiful thing because you're always with friends. You always see everybody the same day. You can like build yourself a schedule. So like that's so easy. It's kind of like arguably like a better schedule than me. It's like recording you in the classes with your friends, you at lunchtime, you at sports, and then you go home, time lapse of you doing homework, and then like filming 1 or 2 videos. like that's an easy kind of like routine that you can build, easy content that people will relate to, because like you're one student of like 600 kids in the same school. Like people will relate to you and people will see the balance. So that's like what I'm trying to apply to myself, is like there are other people who work like a full-time job and are content creating, and so I'm most likely no different than them. But if I'm able to just showcase my life, show how it's like unique in my way, and like hopefully people resonate with it, that's like how I build my community. So like that's like the angle that I'm trying to go with. And that's like my 2 cents for the week. I am like finally going to like the stereotype of just like, you know, seeing my life as more of like a unique advantage that like most people don't have, and like use that. Like I have a Tesla. I was like blessed to like be able to afford a Tesla. I don't utilize it for my content. I really should. Same thing with like all this like camera gear I have. I really should be using it more, but like I don't take advantage of it. So like I need to, you know, like I need to be more in front of the camera, and that's like my little lesson for me. But moving on from lessons, or like second lesson that I ever started doing, is I haven't done it yet, but my goal for this week to be more mindful about Instagram, because I really realized how much it's like sucking me out of like everyday stuff. But then again, I feel like I'm giving time to Instagram instead of like getting time from Instagram. You know what I mean? Like I'm consuming more than I'm creating. I'm like mindlessly scrolling instead of like interacting with people's stuff. If I have a moment to spare, I'm on Instagram just like watching reels, getting ideas, getting inspiration. But like, to be honest, I've been scrolling for months and months, and like arguably a full year, just trying to figure out what to record. So like I think I don't need to like find more ideas. I like found my niche. I like found what I want to do, and like if I have any ideas, like when I do go, I can just find them. So one thing that I want to start doing is, initially this week, I wanted to like tell you guys that I like committed myself to like only open up Instagram when I'm able to contribute to something. Like if I'm going to post my stories, I do that. If I have time to like reply to people's like comments or like comment on people's posts, I will open the app. Or if like I am going to post something, then I can like interact with other people. But if I'm not, I stay off the app. And it hasn't been working because I like still find myself like guiltily opening the app. So I decided that I want to try and only open up Instagram 3 times during the day. In the morning, which like arguably isn't healthy or isn't like the most productive. So open up Instagram in the morning, interact with as much people's stuff as I can, and like entertain myself a little bit. Sometimes during, like, you know, if I'm at work during my lunchtime, if I've like posted something in the morning and I want to start commenting on people's stuff or like add to my stories, then that's a great excuse to like open up the app. And then at night, that's like the best time for me. I want to start allocating like at least maybe 20 minutes to just like commenting on people's stuff, giving people's pages love. So like hopefully like it reciprocates, and then like it goes back to my page and I can build a community, and I'm on the top of people's feeds. So that's one thing that I want to start doing, is just like committing to 3 solid times. If I open up during the other times, hopefully I don't, but it's going to be like my little, like, it's okay if it's happening. And just stick to those 3 times. And hopefully that'll just like push myself to be creating more. Like, you know, if I'm mindfully opening up Instagram more, I will be more conscious about if I'm like uploading enough or not. And if I like need to upload, then I can. And if I'm not, then it's just kind of like a distraction that like I technically don't need. I can perfectly like go about my day without opening up Instagram. I can perfectly go about my day without consuming anything anymore. I technically really don't need to be. But yeah, so let me see. What's the last thing I want to talk to you guys about was this beautiful tool, as like most of you guys know, ChatGPT. So I have recently started using ChatGPT a lot, mainly Snapchat AI, believe it or not. Snapchat AI is like my little friend that I never expected to like have in my corner. He like popped up on my like chat list, and like I think the way that they do it is like Snapchat AI is like the one on top all the time. And so I kind of leaned in on it. Like the first time I utilized it, see what's up with me in that word? The first time I started using it, I opened up ChatGPT and I asked it because I was like trying to figure out what was like the resolution for like a vertical reel, but it was like specific numbers. So I asked Chat and I was like, hey, if I'm trying to record a video and like the like length of it is 720, like what's gonna be the vertical of it? And it couldn't tell me, or it just gave me like so many different options. I'm like, no, you don't understand like what I'm going for. Oh, sorry guys. It's like 8:30 in the morning for me. I slept like 6 hours. I asked it and it couldn't like tell me, and so I was like, let me just go to Snapchat AI, see what it can do. And it gave me like the exact numbers, and that's it. Like, it was like straight to the point, gave me the numbers, gave me a little smiley face, and that was it. And I was like, holy cow, it works. It's actually like, useful. And then the other time that I used it for the first time, I was posting a picture of like I just bought penny loafers, and I was like, I like the post, and I wanted to like have like a nice smart caption. And I like asked Snapchat AI, I was like, hey, this is my post, this is what I'm going for, what's like something that's like Twitter worthy, or like what's something like funny or catchy that I can like caption the video. And I wanted to like incorporate the words loafers into it, or penny loafers. And then it was, the name it gave me was, I think I remember it still, it was like stepping up my loafer game 1 penny at a time. And I was like, oh, like this is genius, this is super smart, I love it. And so I like kept it, I keep using it. So like if you guys have Snapchat, use it as a friend. It's great for ideas. It's not as like expansive and like smart as ChatGPT, but it's good to kind of get the brain juices flowing and go from there. And I started using ChatGPT to like actually find the name of the show. Like, I think like last episode I told you guys there was no name. I like had no idea like what the picture was gonna be, and I think I finally decided. So should I tell you the name or how I came up with the name? I will start with like how I came up with the name. So I went to ChatGPT and I asked it, I was like, hey, I'm starting a podcast. I want to be, oh man, I wonder if I can open it fast enough. Let me see. Do I have to log in? Please tell me I logged in. Oh, yes, I have the app. So now let me go to, what's super cool is you can actually go to history and then go to like past conversations that I've had. So let me see. There you go. Podcast creator inspiration, I said. So let me see. Nope, this is the wrong one. This is talking about if I wanted to watch Joe Rogan podcast. Let me see. Beach Carlo occasion, Noah Becking comes in, no content creation, podcast name suggestions. There you go. So I had asked it, and this is what I told it. I need help choosing a name for my podcast show. I am an aspiring content creator that wants to make a podcast where I document my week-to-week journey in becoming a successful content creator. Sound familiar? Every episode, I will share tips on what I learned, what did not work, and just sharing my journey for future content creators to learn from and to use as a pathway to follow. And then it said, like, creating a name for the podcast is an important step as it sets the tone and expectations for your audience. Here are some names and ideas, yada, yada, yada. So it actually gave me 20 names. And I looked to the first 5, and it was like Content Creator Chronicles, From Creator to Creator, Path to Content Mastery, Content Creation Unveiled, Creator's Compass, and like Crafting Content Success, and like 20 more, like The Creator's Code, Content Creator's Insight, Creators Connect. And it was just giving me like really good names. And I was like, dude, this is actually really cool. And Chris, if you're watching it, Chris is my boss. Chris had recommended us in the team to like treat chat like if you are kind of deal. So like you would text chat, you are an aspiring content creator. What would you name your show? Or like, what are 5 names you would name a show? Or like, you are a real estate agent trying to find buyers. What are 3 cold calls that you would use? So he likes recommending to say like, you are this or you are doing that. And I've kind of taken the angle of like treating it like a friend, like asking for its opinion, which is kind of wild. If you think about it, you're asking AI for its opinion. But the cool part is it'll give it to you. It'll give you its honest opinion. And what's beautiful is like when it gives you its opinion, you can ask it why. and it gives you very valid reasons. So I was like, I just asked it. I was like, which of these would be the most optimized for SEO? SEO is an acronym for like search engine optimized. So like if people were just randomly search up like content creating podcast, and like my show would naturally pop up. So it's kind of like words that would associate with like what people are generally searching up and tie those together. Like that's like what search engine optimization is like using the best words or description or like hashtags. So that way, like if people look up a general topic, yours would be connected to that. And then it was explaining to me like SEO, and it said like from the list provided, here are some options that would be optimized for SEO. Content Creator Chronicles, From Creator to Creator, Path to Content Mastery, The Creative Odyssey Podcast, Crafting Content Success, Content Creation Unveiled, The Creator's Code, The Journey to Creation Excellence, Content Creator's Insight, and Content Mastery's Memoirs. And then I asked it, and it said, remember that SEO is not just about the podcast name, but also the quality of your content, the titles, descriptions of your episode, and how effectively you promote your podcast. I was like, ouch, you're right. I still got to do some work. So I asked it, and so I was like reading through all the lists, and I was like, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm wondering which one you guys thought the most. I wonder if I can put a little poll. But I was like, I resonated with one of them, and I was like, could you expand on the meaning behind the title From Creator to Creator, which is like the name of the show, and what would that exemplify? And it said, and it kind of gave me, I won't read it out like all of it, but it kind of gave me like a good kind of description of what From Creator to Creator means, you know, like what the mentorship and guidance would mean, the learning path, the community building, inspiration, empowerment, the mutual growth, and like kind of gave me a summary of like what Creator to Creator would be like. And then I even asked it, I was like, which name did you like the most? And it gave me 4. From Creator to Creator, The Creative Odyssey Podcast, Crafting Content Success, and The Creator's Code. And I was like, ooh, Creator to Creator is like doing good. And then I asked it, which would be your top 2 choices of those 4? And it said the top 2 would be From Creator to Creator and The Creator's Code. So look at that. Literally from just it asking a couple questions. All I asked it was, give me a list, gave me the list, so that's like one question. And then I asked it, which are the most optimized for SEO? And then I asked it, which did you like the most? So that's 3 questions. And then once it gave me 4, I asked it, what were your top 2 choices of the 4? I asked it 4 questions, and it literally narrowed down a list of 20 that it originally gave me and said, I can't give you less, to like giving me the top 2. And it had decided, it had like chosen the name, it had chosen the examples and everything. And I even went as far as like asking what the title description be. I even asked it like, this is like the first episode, like what I talked about, what would you like caption it? And it even gave me like a series from the trunk, which is like when I'm sitting on my car. Sadly, there was no way of like parking by the lake. Hope you guys like the lake, by the way. So I'm just like sitting here by myself, but this is what it like gave me, and I was like, this is actually like such a unique tool, super cool. And so like my closing advice for this week is just using chat as a friend. Ask for its opinion, and you will see how much it gives you. And like, don't be afraid to ask it like why, because it will give you why answers, and it's pretty cool. So like, as long as I just commit to it, I'll keep trusting his choices. But welcome to From Creator to Creator. And it makes sense. I love it. Like, because like technically, yeah, guys, like if you are listening to this after October, what's tomorrow's date going to be? October 9th. You know, this is like a point in the past for you. So if you're still listening, what's up? I wonder like when you're listening from. So maybe leave a comment if you're listening on YouTube, or I think on Spotify, you can leave a poll. Just like let me know like what date you're listening to this, dude, because this is so interesting. Like I know I listened to like shows from like 2 years ago, and it's crazy to me that like someone 2 years from now will listen to this episode. So yeah, this is the name, From Creator to Creator. This is like my growth and like my success as a creator, and like documenting all of it, the tips that I've learned, the stuff that doesn't work, what I'm trying, what I've learned, who's inspiring me, to you, another creator. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'm gonna wrap it up now. I actually have to get to work in 35 minutes, so I have to drive home in 20 minutes, get dressed, shower, and head to Disneyland for like my third job. It's rough. Actually, that's one more thing I wanted to talk about this episode, but I didn't because it's like a whole episode on its own. But like the work-life balance and like what some people do. And I've been listening to shows. I've been listening to episodes to like learn about it. But that's for the next show. All right. Well, take care, guys. Peace.